Good morning, Mets fans, and welcome to a Monday edition of Driving with Mr. Met. I am Mr. Met, and I apologize for being away for a couple of days. I was a little under the weather on Thursday and Friday, did not end up going into work, and therefore was not in my car to record a video. This is, after all, Driving with Mr. Met, so it's not as though I can start deviating from the subject and do this from like my office or something at home. So anyhow, I am finally back, and boy, has a lot happened since the last time I recorded a video. I believe the last video I recorded was Wednesday of last week, and yeah, a lot has happened since then. I'm not going to be able to touch on all of it today, but I'm going to talk about some of the key points, whether you want to call them high points or low points, and I'll pick on a couple of those today. So sort of a very random order that I'm going to go through this stuff today, just kind of as it falls into my mind here. I think the big news over the last week, or 6 days or so, has been Matt Harvey's move to the bullpen. I don't want to call it a demotion. We'll just say it's his move to the bullpen. I was watching the game on Saturday, and that was the first broadcast since the announcement broke. And they showed video of Matt in the bullpen, and it looked as though he was sulking. It was like sort of like screaming for "GIF me" or "make a screenshot of me and make a meme out of me, sad Matt Harvey," whatever. I really hate that they're doing this, that they're deciding to do this. They're deciding to make this into more than it is. We've got to try to remember the human side of this game that we all love. Matt Harvey's a human being, and his job is to be a starting pitcher. That's his job. Put yourself in his shoes. He's trained his entire life to get to this point where in a very few short years ago, he was at the top of his game and at the top of the game. He was one of the best pitchers in all of baseball. And in 2 short years, thanks to injury, he's not anymore. And he's bummed about it, and he has every right to be. And we as fans have to cut the shit and stop being such assholes. And it's ridiculous. Mets Twitter's the vitriol from Mets Twitter about Matt Harvey is beyond me. It's as though you almost don't want him to succeed. And I don't understand. I never have understood the name calling and the nastiness that comes along with being a fan. It's one thing to be passionate and to love your team and to want them to win, but it's another to get on the players when, through no control of his own, they aren't able to perform the way that we want them to, and that they most certainly want to. So the topic of conversation is, how will Matt Harvey do in the bullpen? Look, we don't know. Nobody knows. Nobody has a crystal ball as to how this is going to roll out. All we can do is hope, and I, for one, hope for the best. I want nothing more for Matt. I sort of feel the same way about David Wright. It's certainly not the same. Really, David Wright had it better because he had a decade of dominant play. 8 years of dominant play where he was, an everyday name. He was named the face of baseball, for God's sakes, a few years ago. After Jeter retired. David Wright had his time at the top for an extended period of time. Matt Harvey never got that chance. And I look at Matt Harvey the same way I look at David Wright. I want nothing more than for David to get back on the field and to have a one more crack at it and be a shell, even if he's a shell of himself. And that's sort of where we are with Matt Harvey now. Is Matt Harvey going to be anything out of the bullpen? We don't know. Nobody really knows. But I think he said the right things. I think he said, I'm a starting pitcher. That's all I know. I'm bummed. I'm pissed. I'm mad at myself. And I'm going to set out to prove that I do belong in the starting rotation. And that's my goal. And what's the problem with that? I mean, people have gone nuts about that comment, calling him selfish and whatever. Shut up. Shut up. There's nothing selfish about wanting to be what you've always thought you should be. Every one of us gets up every day and has dreams of what we're going to be in the world. Matt Harvey's no different. So shut up and cut him some slack. Or hey, maybe better off, don't be a fan, because if this is the kind of fan that this team attracts, we don't need him. off soapbox. Okay. So good luck to Matt Harvey in the bullpen. That took a turn for the dramatic there. But so a couple of other things. The Mets played an interesting series with the Nationals. The Monday game, as we all know, was a brutal loss. But in my absence, I was not able to record on Thursday to talk about the Wednesday game, which was an unbelievable comeback by the Mets. I did not see most of it. I actually fell asleep, so naturally missed a great, huge inning, whatever. But the Mets were able to come back after that crushing defeat on Monday, another loss on Tuesday, and they were able to stave off the sweep by the Nats at home. And right now the Mets are sitting at 14-6 on top of the division, and they're 4-2 against the Nationals right now. So by all means, let's all jump off a bridge and freak out. Anyway, I'm going back to where I don't want to be. So anyway, DeGrom's start last Monday was unbelievable. 2 days ago, Saturday night, he pitches another fantastic game. 7 strong innings, 10 strikeouts, 1 run, or I don't even know if he gave up a run. I can't even remember. I don't think he did, actually. The Mets had this game firmly in hand, and the bullpen repeated itself from Monday, although not quite as badly, but the bullpen was terribly ineffective, gave up the lead. You sort of sniffed like an old Turner Field House of Horrors feel to that whole inning because it just went so poorly, looking at both the bottom of the 8th and the way the top of the 9th started. I feel really terrible for Jacob DeGrom because he should have 2 more wins in the win column right now, and the bullpen blew those for him. So it's time the team picks him up and goes out and scores like 17 runs for him in his next start so that he can sort of relax and say, hey, good, I don't have to pitch a complete game tonight to get a win. That being said, we did get to witness a complete game, not in a Mets game, but Mike Clevenger threw a complete game over the weekend, as did Sean Manaea from the A's. So it is possible, and of course Manaea's was a no-hitter, but it is possible for a pitcher in 2018 to go 9 innings. Just saying. The Braves series over the weekend was cut short by rain. The Mets did not play yesterday. Weird series, very odd series. The Mets lost again, that heartbreaker on Saturday night. They really should have won. They should have had a 2-1 lead in the series heading into Sunday, but of course they didn't. And now I got to jump back on top of the soapbox again and get on Mets Twitter. So Saturday was a 7-line game. 7-line Army traveled to Atlanta and cheered the Mets on. And of course, because they lost, there are dum-dums out there who believe that it's the 7-line's fault that the Mets lost. I will never understand people, but please, give me a break. These are the same sorts of people that say, I can't watch the game because they'll lose if I'm watching. It doesn't work that way. I get that you're superstitious, but for Christ's sakes, it doesn't work that way, people. It doesn't work that way. Whether you're watching the game or not, the same thing's going to happen because you have nothing to do with the game. You're just a fan. I'm just a fan. I watch, I don't watch. It doesn't make a difference. The outcome's not going to change. But I get it. See, people are superstitious. Fine, cool, totally no problem. But there's no reason to go and spew out nonsense on social media and on Twitter saying that if the 7-line weren't at the game, the Mets would have won. Right. So this has been an interesting video this morning. I've missed doing this. The Mets have 3 games in St. Louis, not tonight, starting tomorrow. And because of the rain out yesterday and because of Jason Vargas' pending return this coming weekend in San Diego, the Mets pushed back all the starters. So nobody got skipped because of the rain out. Everyone's going to get an extra day of rest. We'll see how this affects Zach Wheeler in particular. He will be going out tomorrow night and getting the start in St. Louis. So it'll be 2 extra days of rest for Zach. And I'll be curious to see what he does with 7 days as opposed to 5. So that's going to be it for today. I'm sure I could go on and on because it feels like I've been away for like a month, even though it's only been 2 real weekdays. But still, I thank you for watching. I'm sorry for rambling. I'm sorry for soapboxing, but hey, it's my vlog. I can soapbox if I want, right? Let me know what you think about my crazy rant there and how stupid it was or how not stupid it was. I'm curious to see if I'm alone in the universe thinking that Mets fans are way too touchy. But let me know. Hit me up in the comments below this video or on Twitter at Mr_Met. Thanks again for watching, and as always, let's go Mets.